Hi, I'm Jake, and I'm out here at our pyramid vineyard on the back hill here, and it's March 21st, and we're going to take a look at these, well, still dormant buds again. And I was a little bit embarrassed last week because I thought I'd come out and show that something was going on, and nothing particular was happening. The bud scales were starting to crack and things were starting to fall off, if I remember, and we were starting to see a little bit of fuzz. And this week, I gotta say, really same. The same place we were last week, and just look at the buds again. So if you take a look at this, you can see still just a little bit fuzzy, and you can see a little bit of the brown bud scale on there, and a little bit of that fuzz there. So it is just starting to come out of dormancy. You can see this guy's still got the scale right over it, and these here, same thing. Not a lot going on, but what we'll do is just keep coming back here week after week and seeing how the whole thing pans out. And right now we'll go over to the vineyard where my folks live, the home vineyard, and see how the Chardonnay looks. We're down in the Chardonnay vineyard here, and looking up diagonally across these rows is where the gravel bar, the separate picking that we do for the gravel bar on kind of on a vine by vine basis that runs along this block diagonally, and this is where our regular home chard comes from. Looking down across this wind machine here and across the avenue there are rows running in the other direction, and they're Chardonnay too. So that's the west block, and this is the east block, and then the gravel bar runs through it. And generally speaking, we'll pick a west block, and then an east block, and then a gravel bar. And usually the gravel bar stuff tends to come along earlier than the other two. And usually the east block comes along earlier than the west block out here. And there were still, these buds still mostly had bud scale on them, if I remember correctly, and they were just starting to get a little bit fuzzy. And now you can see, okay, there still is a tiny bit of bud scale on there, if you want to come close and take a look at it. So yeah, you can see how this is kind of this swollen ball here, and then it's got the bud scales on the side. And here, this brown stuff is actually going to just kind of peel back and open up, and there'll be a green leaf inside it. And you can see the same thing happening here, except that this is farther behind, right? And that's just that black bud scale, and you could just see the fuzz coming through it. And here's one of those fuzzy little buds where it shed the scale. Oh, I lost my stick. Yeah, and again, and then in a week from today, or next Wednesday, whatever, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we'll come out and look at it again and see where it is. We're now in the bottom of our Red Winery Road vineyard, about 7 miles north of where we started at the pyramid, maybe 8 miles north of where we started at the pyramid. And again, this is Petit Verdot. So we've looked at Cabernet, then Chardonnay, now Petit Verdot. And Petit Verdot is obviously, it's a red grape. It's and a Bordeaux varietal, so it's more closely related to Cabernet than it is to Chardonnay. So if you look here, you can see that these bud scales right here have been pushed back, and that the bud is swelling through them, and that these are those little infant leaves all curled up that when we come back next week are probably going to be opened up even more. They don't call this popcorn. That may be what we have next week. So none of this stuff, this is not really susceptible to frost at this point. Until you see green, you don't have anything that's really susceptible to frost. And everybody's talking about how sunny it's been lately. Well, that's true. It has been really uncharacteristically sunny, with a few exceptions in the past, I don't know, well, a couple of weeks. But leading up to that, the early winter was really rainy, and then after that there were just months of bitter cold. So we're right about where we should be. You start frost danger normally around here in the middle of April, and it's the 21st of March. So in another 3 weeks, probably, we're going to see all this stuff grown out, and then we're going to have to start getting up in the middle of the night and turning on the wind machines. Anyway, anyway, we'll be back next week and take a look at all these things again and see where they are. Thanks.